Alright guys, welcome back to another video. So in today's video I'm actually going to be doing a repair that is actually supposed to be pretty difficult to do, but I think I have the confidence to try and attempt to do this and try to see if it'll work. I actually do have a broken 2DS XL that actually has a crack down the side of the screen here, which I actually am going to replace. I actually have the replacement screen right here that I ordered on eBay. I am going to be using an iFixit guide that actually helps visually with some of the things in order to do in this video, which I'll be linking in the description below, because some people do like the pictures, but I will be doing that for the video. So yeah, if you guys want to stick around for the rest of the video, we'll take a look at trying to repair this thing and make it so that it's going to be a nice 2DS to use for the future. Alright guys. Alright guys, so this is going to be this part of the video. So I'm actually got the iFixit guide up here. I do have a case and screen protector, so whenever I am done I can put this on. I do have a heat gun because I know I'm going to need it. My iFixit toolkit, which I always use. The 2DS itself, and then the actual replacement screen as well. Should be this here. So, alright, let's go ahead and start by getting the screwdriver set out. I do have my other camera here, which I did do a review on, which is going to be on the channel. I actually use this a lot for close-up shots, so I might be using it for this as well. Let's go ahead. We're going to need a tri-wing screwdriver. We're going to want to take out the SD card, any game cards, any styluses, which mine does not actually have one. So then we're going to go ahead and we're going to be removing the 4 tri-wing screws on the outside of this, which are, so there'll be 4 tri-wing screws. We got one right here, 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 and here. So we're going to be removing all 4 of those to get the back off. So I am most likely going to need to clean the inside of this. A lot of the buttons are actually sticky, so that's going to be another part of fixing this. We're going to need some pry tools. Pull these pry tools out. And we want to use plastic ones, so let's try to see if I can get this in there. Alright, so I'm going to take this little thing out over here. Okay, got that little piece out. And it looks like the next thing to do looks like it's actually attached to the cameras in the back. They didn't mention that. Oh, they flipped it over like this. Oh, there's 2 of them, so there's one on each side. Looks like there's another one over here. Okay, got that out. Just flip this backwards. What I'm gonna actually do in this, I'm gonna move these. I'm actually going to release this and just take this back off. Just gonna unplug that. It's not worth to keep on there. Okay, now it wants us to lift the battery out, so we're gonna be lifting this out. Sticking enough underneath the battery right there, but cool, battery is out. Okay. Then once that is away, it wants us to disconnect the top screen, which looks like it's going to be right here. So we'll flip this little Alright, so once let's remove the top screen, so it looks like it is going to need to be this connector here. I don't know why this won't focus. Yeah, it's going to be that little connector right here. This is going to be the connector that we're going to be opening. And then it looks like we're going to unplug this and then try to route the cable out and pull the top screen part out from here. Pull that out. Alright, so I have it out here. And here now I'm going to have to feed it through here and pull it out here, it looks like. They didn't mention this. This actually has to come out, this hinge, in order for this to actually work. So you got to get something in there to actually push this hinge out. So I'm actually going to be putting the spudger in here and trying to pull this out in order for us to detach the top from the bottom. So I was able to get the hinge out. I had to use a flathead screwdriver, so a flathead here, to try to pry this thing out, and then I used a pair of tweezers to pull it out. So now we're at this point where the hinge comes off. Now what I need to do is I need to take the spring on the other side, and I need to try to push this screen through. Without busting it. So this piece needs to go through this hinge. So I'm going to attempt to do that right now. Alright. So I actually have to remove this and this. The guide does not say that in order to get this cable out. It's actually stuck underneath here. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this battery cover, and I'm going to take out the other screws. Off the antenna. Continue to take it off. Okay, I'm going to take the antenna out from underneath this battery cover. So that's to the side over there. Now I'm going to take out, alright, I'm going to be taking out the screws in the motherboard. So I'm going to be taking out some of the screws in this motherboard. So we got one right here, one right here. So I'm going to take those out and one over here to try to remove the board so I can pull this cable out. Alright, also looks like I have to take out the joystick. So let me go ahead and do that as well. So it looks like this side won't come off with the joystick in here. So I guess I gotta push this through. Unplug that joystick. And now I should be able to lift the board off enough that I can actually push this out. Cool. So I don't really need to take apart the whole thing, but I need to get that top screen part out. So now I'm going to take this and then try to route it through here to take this top screen off. Actually, to be honest, I actually don't even really care about this trying to take it out, but I'm still going to try to see if I can remove it correctly. Just roll it over on itself. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually remove all of the stuff connected to this board. So I took all of the cables off so I can just try to remove this board completely. Alright, and then that is the board out. This feels like this will make it a lot easier. So I'm going to be setting that to the side. Alright, and then what I'm actually going to be doing is while I'm actually in here, I'm going to remove all of these buttons and I'm going to give everything a nice clean, as some of these buttons are really sticky. So I shall go ahead and remove all of the pieces. I'm just going to do it like this. You can see like that one button just won't come out. Okay, we'll push that button out too, which was stuck in there. Alright, now let me go ahead and continue trying to remove this top screen part right here, since now everything's out. So remove the antenna. Now I actually need to remove these two screws. Try to get the antenna actually out. Go ahead and I'll take this part out. And now I can slip this cable right out of this hole. fold it and roll it. Try to see if I can get it through without busting it, even though I am replacing the screen, but I still don't want to break it. Okay. So now I'm just on the top part of the screen. I'm going to set this to the side. Alright, so next thing I have to do is I have to heat up the back with the heat gun and then try to remove this purple piece on mine. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to do that. I'm going to hook up the heat gun. Okay, now I'm going to apply heat to the top of this to try to get this piece off. So I gotta get a pry tool in here and try to take this off. There. Pry tool. Dang, I can't get nothing in here. Let me try this. So I was able to get this pry tool in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another one here just to hold it. I'm going to heat this up a little bit more to try to see if I can get the rest of this off. I'm going to take my pry tool and I'm going to continue around the outside of it. You can actually hear the glue coming off. So I'm going to heat up the rest. Part is going to take a while. Okay. Looks like once it started, peel the whole thing off like a sticker. Bam. Do know this might warp the top, but luckily I have a thing to help with that. Alright. So now that we're on this part, next thing to do is to unscrew these 4 screws. There are 4 screws on the outside of this. Go ahead and we will remove those. Alright, so after those 4 screws are out, this lid should actually pop off pretty easily. Just like that. And then that is going to be the screen right there. So we'll go ahead and set this to the side. And now I just need to get this screen out. A lot of people on the internet, what they've done, as I've seen, is that they've wiggled it apart. Sadly, it looks like mine is actually cracked up here at the top, which kind of sucks. I think that I don't know if that was before or after, but it looks like it did cracked right here. That sucks. But I'm going to continue with this anyways. So what you got to do is you got to take this screen part out. This here. So I'm going to try to remove the screen. They say to apply a little bit of heat to try to remove the lens from the front part. So what we're going to do is we're going to apply some heat to the front. And then we're going to try to see if I can actually remove this lens, which sadly, because my top broke, make it probably kind of easier to be able to remove it. Dang, I cannot get this thing out. Okay, apply some more heat. Okay, I should be able to take this off. Okay. So I got that side off. And I just need to get the other side off. So same thing, heat it up. Just Alright, so it looks like that lens is now, oh well, because it decided to adhere itself back down. Alright, and this will be that lens coming off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this cable here, and it looks like it comes off at the bottom slightly, and then it just pulls right out. Alright, and then now that is this part. Now the only thing I need to do is actually remove this screen from this lens, which shouldn't be too difficult to do. You just need to peel it off. Whoops. Oh, screen's already broken, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to pry the two apart from each other. Oops. So I'm just going to peel it apart. Well, I cracked the screen up more, but at least now it's free. So I gotta remember the orientation that it was in. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the new screen, which is this one here, and I'm going to be replacing it with this one. It looks like there are kind of like guide marks on where this should go, so we make sure it's centered. I'm going to peel off the protective layer on this. Alright, that's the peel off. And then I'm going to stick this down. Okay, so that is going to be the new screen installed. Hopefully it's installed correctly, but that is going to be it inside of that. And the next thing I gotta do is I gotta just put that thing back on the back. Let me push this down a little. And now I'm going to stick this part back on. This goes above the part of the screen, so I'm going to need to lift it up and push this down behind it. And then everything should go back together. Does look like I have the screen a little bit misaligned, so let me go ahead and realign that. Alright, so once I have wiped that, I am now going to stick the screen back in. Alright, that will be it lined back up there. So now what I gotta do is I gotta take this cable, fold it over. The cable kind of sits right here in this spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tuck this in to the little slot that's down here at the bottom, and then I'm going to put this cable down in here. Which one of the things that I saw suggested some adhesion to be placed here. Some adhesive. So I think I'm going to put double-sided sticky tape or something right here. Push this down. As long as it holds, I should be okay. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the back, I'm going to put this back on. So go ahead and put this back into its spot. Go. Make sure that the red cable is on the inside. Then I'll kind of go ahead and start rounding that out. So, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick this bottom part on. And I'm going to go ahead and snap it all the way around. Alright. So actually you can barely see that crack that's up here at the top, so that's pretty good. Alright, so what I'm going to go ahead and do, oh, that actually could have happened when the top screen originally cracked. When the person dropped it, that could have happened. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to re-put back on the 4 screws that went on the back piece here. Alright, now that that back is back on, I have to put back on this piece. So it did get kind of ruined heating it up, but luckily it looks like most of the adhesive is fine. So I was able to actually peel it off pretty well. So just flatten it all back out. I'm going to heat it up a bit to try to see if I can get it to mold back and flatten. Okay, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is try to see if I can flatten this adhesive back up. Alright, so that's going to be flattened like that. So it looks like this key right here, this little pop out part, is going to be up here in the top corner. So it looks like it's going to be laid out just like this. So I'm going to do is I'm going to heat up the adhesive before I try to flatten it back down. That should be significantly hot. So I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it in the holes and then go ahead and push down on all of the spots where the adhesive should go. I don't want to push too hard and break the screen again, but that looks like it is good. It is a little bit bumpy here, so I am going to heat this up a bit more to try to see if I can get this to go down. Alright, and then that is the whole back on. Now to try to reassemble the entire thing from start to finish. So go ahead and we shall take this bottom part, which I actually am going to give a clean. So I'll be right back. I'm going to clean out these with alcohol and some alcohol and Q-tips. So I'll be right back. Alright, so I took all the buttons to the sink, gave them a nice clean, so now I'm going to be putting them all back. Alright, so now that all the buttons are back in there, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to replace this board. So remember the motherboard went in this way. So I'm going to feed a couple of these through. Alright, now that I know that's working, all the buttons are working as well. Alright, next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the battery compartment. Now I'm going to replace the battery thing. Alright, now to replace the top part and then push back in the little hinge that's right here. So I'm going to use this as a guide to roll this. So I'm going to kind of roll the screen cable around the red one. So I'm going to do it small enough that I can get that little ring around it. Okay, I'm going to keep the ring. I'm going to keep the silver ring on this as a guide to try to get it back into this bottom case. So I'm going to go ahead and slip the red wire through. Okay, and then I'm going to try and get this in here using the silver ring to try to guide this into it. Alright, so I got the silver ring into the hole, and now I'm just going to push there. Now that I have the ring in there, I'm going to go ahead and put the top and the bottom together, and then all I have to do is just pull the cable out from inside of this. Alright, so I'm just going to pull the cable. I'm just going to lift it out just like that. Oh no. Okay. Well, I just realized I have to take this back off again because I got to get this cable underneath here. So let me go ahead and retake this off, and I'm going to put this back underneath it. Actually, so while we're here at this point, what we can do is I can push the hinge that we pulled out, just push that right back into it. Alright, there we go. So I push the hinge back in, and there you go. So it does work. Okay, so I need to take the motherboard back out so I can replace this cable where it actually belongs, underneath here. So I'm going to go ahead and unscrew this so I can loosen it enough to get it underneath. Alright, okay, so now that I got the cable in there, now I'm going to just plug the cable into Alright, so once now I have that plugged in, I got to put that little piece of plastic that covered the antenna. I need to put that back in here. So let me go ahead and route the antenna back through this. Alright, now I just got to route Alright, so now I'm going to put in the battery. Should go in just like this. And let's go ahead. Moment of truth. Let's see if it turns on. Bunch everything up. Wow. Alright, so what? Alright, so it looks like the screen and the bottom screen work. That is awesome. So now time to bundle all this back up. I think the battery keeps falling out. So we're going to bundle it back up and get it to work in order again. Alright, so got to get the bottom part on, so got to put in the 2 speakers and then the ribbon cable. And then since I've gotten this far, just to protect it, I actually did buy a case. So I ended up buying one of these crystal clear cases. And it also came with some screen protectors, which I'll actually put on after this. Let me go ahead and stick. It's a full glass screen protector for the top. That's pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick both of these on. Alright, so just give this a quick clean. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and stick this on the top. Alright, and then I'm going to take this one off. Alright, now another moment of truth. Let's go ahead and turn it on. Sounds like the volume's working. Ah, it looks like it reset it. My Mario Kart is missing. Okay, well, let me go grab a game so we can try it and make sure that it's still working. So it looks like it reads it, but I need to download the newest version, so I'm going to go ahead and hit no. Okay, here it goes. So it does look like it reads. Alright, that's cool. Alright, well, everything looks like it's working. Alright, so looks like everything's good to go on this. So I'm really happy that it actually ended up working out for it. I'm glad that it worked out. I got this nice case. I'm going to put the screen protectors on it. But at least the screen is no longer smashed. Smashed. But alright guys, now to the outro. Alright guys, that's the end of my video. So I'm actually really happy with how this turned out. It actually turned out really, really nice. I am glad that everything went together as it should, and everything seems to be functional on it, and I was able to clean all of the buttons. Next thing I need to do is put some custom firmware on this thing. The one downside that I didn't like is that the top screen is dimmer than the original screen that came with the 2DS. That is a downside, but it is not very much dimmer, but you can definitely tell it is dimmer than the original screen. Also, the iFixit tutorial that I was using online was okay for the most part to help with it, but it was missing a bunch of things to it, so I had to figure some things out for myself. Luckily, I was able to figure out all that stuff. But yeah, thanks for watching the video, guys. If you guys like the video, please like the video. If you guys want to leave any comments in this comment section below for any ideas for future videos, that'd be great. If you guys want to please subscribe, I am really close to getting my 200 subscribers, which would be really cool to have. But yeah, if you guys don't mind subscribing. Alright, thanks for watching the video, guys. Peace.